Hello students, in this video we'll see the structure passing through the different foramens of interior of the skull. So this in anterior cranial fossa, this anterior to the crista galli lies a blind opening known as foramen cecum. Normally it is closed, but if it is open, it will transmit the emissary vein connecting the nose with the superior sagittal sinus. On either side of the crista galli, you have got the cribriform plate. If you see, it is a sieve-like cribriform plate. It will transmit the olfactory nerves. In its anterior part, this anteriorly there is an opening known as the anterior ethmoidal canal, and if it is there, it will transmit the anterior ethmoidal nerve and vessels. The posterior ethmoidal canal, which is there on the posterior end of the cribriform plate, will transmit the posterior ethmoidal vessels. This is your optic canal. It will transmit the optic nerve as well as the ophthalmic artery. Below the optic canal lies, this is your superior orbital fissure. See, if you see, this is your superior orbital fissure. It is wider in its middle part while narrow in its lateral aspect. This superior orbital fissure, it is bounded or it is divided into the three parts by the tendinous ring of Zinn, which will divide it into the medialmost part, the middle part or the intermediate part, and the lateral part. From its lateral part, it will transmit the lacrimal nerve, frontal nerve, as well as the trochlear, that is the fourth cranial nerve, along with the superior ophthalmic vein. From its middle part, it will transmit this from the tendinous ring part. It will transmit the upper and the lower division of the third cranial nerve, that is the oculomotor nerve, and between them the nasociliary nerve, and along with them the sixth nerve, that is abduction nerve. And from the middlemost part, it will transmit the inferior ophthalmic vein. Further, from its lateral part, it will also transmit the recurrent meningeal branch of the lacrimal artery. Now we'll see the another foramen, that is foramen rotundum. This is your foramen rotundum. So foramen rotundum will transmit the maxillary nerve. Behind the foramen rotundum is your foramen oval. This is your foramen oval. So foramen oval, this foramen oval, it will transmit the mandibular nerve, accessory meningeal artery, lesser petrosal nerve, and the emissary vein connecting with the cavernous sinus, with that to the pterygoid plexus of the vein. Foramen rotundum, which lies behind it, it will transmit the middle meningeal artery, mandibular branch of the meningeal branch of the mandibular nerve, as well as the middle meningeal vein. If there is a canaliculus innominatus present, this one between the foramen oval and the rotundum, then it will transmit the lesser petrosal nerve. The groove and hiatus for greater and lesser petrosal nerve will transmit the nerve of the same name, and the lesser petrosal nerve will either enter into the canaliculus innominatus or into the foramen oval, while the greater petrosal nerve will enter into the foramen lacerum. Foramen lacerum, it will most of the time in its lower part it is closed by the cartilage, but in its upper part it will transmit the internal carotid artery along with the sympathetic plexus around it, and then this sympathetic plexus will form what is known as the deep petrosal nerve, and along with this greater petrosal nerve, both will unite to form what is known as nerve to pterygoid canal, and then in anterior part of this foramen lacerum, it will open directly into the pterygopalatine fossa. This internal acoustic meatus, it will transmit the 7th and 8th cranial nerve as well as the labyrinthine vessels. The jugular foramen, it is further divided into the three parts. The middle part, it will the medialmost part, it will transmit the inferior petrosal nerve and your meningeal branch of ascending pharyngeal artery, while the middle part will transmit the 9th, 10th and 11th nerve, while the lateral part, it will transmit the sigmoid sinus, which ultimately forms the internal jugular vein, and the meningeal branch of occipital artery will transmit from its lateral part, or you can say the posterior most part. this hypoglossal canal, it will transmit the hypoglossal nerve along with meningeal branch of hypoglossal nerve, as well as the this meningeal branch of ascending pharyngeal artery and emissary vein connecting the sigmoid sinus with that to the internojugular vein. Foramen magnum. Foramen magnum, in its anterior part, it passes three structures, that is from above downward membrana tectoria, your cruciate ligament, and then apical ligament of Dance, while in its posterior part it will transmit the medulla along with its three meningeal coverings. From the subarachnoid space of the meninges, it will transmit the two vertebral artery, one anterior spinal artery, two posterior spinal artery, the sympathetic plexus around the vertebral artery, and spinal accessory nerves. So this will pass through the foramen magnum.